Shout the engineer, David Kim. I know we've been driving you crazy. You like, what, again? Another one? You just
YOTTATALK, we back with another episode.
Yo.
We here with David Yungin Kim. If you don't know, the man has worked with all of your favorite artists.
Yes, sir.
The man behind the computer, man behind the scenes, making sure they sound as polished as you hear them on the radio. For sure. How you doing today, David?
I'm good, man. How you?
Good. I appreciate you being willing to come on the platform, bro.
Yeah,
That's
man,
a blessing.
long time coming, too.
Yeah. Full circle. For y'all that don't know, I actually recorded with David like a few years ago. It was like a whole full circle moment. It's pretty dope.
Had to be 2-3 years. No, longer.
Yeah.
Longer.
Before COVID, right?
Mhm.
It was before COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It's crazy.
But we got a lot to talk about today. I'll let bro introduce some of the people that he worked with, just so, for people who don't know, you can have some background on what he does. Who are some of the people that you've been able to work with?
So most recently, I just mixed the last 6 NAS albums that he did with Hit Boy. So the Magic and the King's Disease series.
Shout out the engineer.
Yeah, Nas. Yeah, he shouted me out on the outro of the last album.
Yeah.
I've been working out. I've been working with the BTS boys on like their individual albums. I've been working a lot overseas, but you know I've done like DJ Khaled, Big Sean. Let me name some that I haven't named before. Keisha Cole. Mary J. Blige.
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, I mean, shoot.
Heavy hitters.
Couldn't look it up.
Go to his website.
Check
You can see
me
all
out,
his credits
man.
right there. So let's start. Let's take it all the way back, bro. Where you from?
I'm originally from Seoul, South Korea, and I moved here when I was 4 to Koreatown. So like
In LA.
LA. Yeah, like I grew up in Koreatown. We lived like all around LA.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where I rep, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have any memories or any stories that your parents used to tell you about? So
Not really, bro. And I don't really. The only thing I remember from like my time in Korea is like where the playground was in my old neighborhood, or like or where like the toy store was that was like right around the block. But like I don't really remember a lot. In
that was what was important at 4.
Yeah.
You remember the important stuff.
Yeah, I remember I just started preschool and then we moved.
Okay.
So like
That's a crazy little dynamic there too.
Facts. And then we moved here in 91, and then the riots happened in 92. Like we moved straight into that shit.
Cause you were right in Koreatown.
Yeah, exactly. And before that, we were on like Crenshaw, and then we moved to Western, like right off Western, which is
Right in the middle of it. Yeah,
where all the shit was burning. So like it was interesting. Yeah.
So how long did you what was it like growing up in that area for you?
Well, I had a lot of like multicultural friends. Like I had a lot of Mexican friends, a lot of black friends. And then as you get older, you like start to click up with with people that look like you.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of Korean friends, like more into middle and in high school.
Okay.
And then but it was like it was, to me, I just didn't understand like why we couldn't, and you know when that happened, when the riots happened, it was like there was a clear division. Like you can't hang out with these people,
here.
you can't hang out with these people. But I was like, why not? Because like all throughout school and like the neighborhoods I grew up in, it was Mexican, black, Korean, and
all mixed.
it was all mixed. And like I feel very blessed to have grown up in that, because like anytime I go outside of LA or like to the Midwest, or like it baffles me like when people look at me different, and I'm like, oh yeah, I am different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We never even seen somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
for
we
sure.
I did a road trip from DC to LA with my brother and my wife, because he was moving back home, and then like we drove through West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana.
Yeah,
Like
you saw all of it.
it was wild. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought because we were just driving, and then like occasionally we stop, like get gas, like or eat at a little.
That's where
diner.
it gets scary though. Those little diners, little mid-country diners.
Right. So I definitely remember just getting, stared at, but I didn't think of a big deal. And I know, like, if you grew up in that environment your whole life, that's all you know.
Yeah.
So, like, I love to travel just because, like, it opens your eyes to different perspectives and, like, how other people around the world live. And then you come back home and you can, like, apply that. And you know what I mean?
A whole new perspective, how you approach stuff, how you deal with people.
Right.
I feel that.
And even with, like, the homies, when I have arguments nowadays, it's like, I don't argue back. It's just like, oh, I get it. I get how you can think that. It's not like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Or like, man, that's wrong. There's no such thing.
You're putting yourself where they're at. Yeah, putting yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. I think that's an advantage when it comes to like business or as an engineer, like that's a huge thing. Like,
how so?
Because if you can understand how someone can work a different way, then it opens your world to learning. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, I have 20 years in this experience, 20 years of experience or whatever, and then a kid comes up and he's 15 years old. He just started rapping, or he just started singing a year ago, and he's like, I use these plugins, I use these effects or whatever. And if I'm a closed-minded, like stubborn dude, I can just be like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And then boom, that's the end. Like there's no more connection between you guys. But if I can consider like, dang, you're doing stuff unconventional, but you get the sound that I will get too. Right? We all end up in the same place. Crazy. How did you do that? Or where did you learn that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Let me absorb that. Let me learn from you instead of telling you you're wrong or like, oh, this is crazy. You can't do this.
Just because it's not the way you know.
Yeah. And I feel like it's all going to kind of be preparation for when I'm a dad or when I'm a parent. And I'm like, okay, clearly this human being hasn't experienced the things that I've experienced. So of course they're going to, come to different conclusions or like develop different methods of learning.
Yeah. And
like, that's okay, So I don't know. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to be a parent.
Let's talk about that, bro, because I know off camera, you said when you were a kid, that's what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like people say, like, what do you want to be? You would say, I want to be a dad.
Yeah. I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, I think because I had a relationship with my dad, and he was like my hero.
Okay.
I always wanted to be that. Like, okay, because no matter what job you have or whatever, you still have to be a dad.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like you can be the coolest. You can have the coolest job in the world, but if you're not a good dad, if you're not a good parent, then the person you need to impact the most, you won't be able to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
That's a crazy way to put it, especially for me, because y'all don't know. I'm a new father, 2 years in the game, but yeah, that's a crazy way to put it. But anyways, let's get talking to some of the music stuff. When did music start for you?
Music was kind of deep rooted in me because my parents, like my dad is super like gifted in a lot of instruments, and I think they grew up in the church, or I grew up in the church, and they were always into it.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom taught herself how to sing, and then taught herself how to play piano, and then now she's like conducting at church and stuff. Like, and then my dad, like, he played multiple instruments, and so they always kind of encouraged me to play instruments. And I've tried a bunch. Like when I was a kid, I've tried piano, I've tried violin, I've played like trombone. Never got like super into any of it. So like to this day, I'm not really a player, but like I understand music,
Yeah, yeah.
And Yeah, so I was always around it, but I love sports, right? I played baseball, basketball, football growing up, and then I always just wanted to be. My dream was to be an NFL, the first all Korean in the NFL. But
What?
yeah, and I was, I was pretty damn good. But my senior year, I got hurt. All the offers and stuff went away. So
Yeah, the offers lined up and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and then so I had to pivot,
Yeah.
and that was like one of the hardest times of my life because I thought at 17 I figured it out, and then everything was stripped away from me, and then it's like, what are you gonna do from here? Try to go to college, it didn't work out. Dropped out, went to MI in Hollywood
Okay.
to try my hand at engineering because like all the homies were rapping. I myself even like I dabbled in it.
You were
I
rapping a little
realized,
bit.
yeah, and I realized that I liked the technical part,
Yeah.
and then I weighed the possibility of me becoming, a successful, artist versus behind the
Being able-
scenes and producing and engineering. And like engineering, it's like I'm a very meticulous person, so like engineering really caught my eye. Like it attracted me right away.
Yeah, fit your personality.
Yeah. So it definitely gave me like a place to like be meticulous and try to be perfect.
Yeah, that
Right.
was your instrument now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and now that's my instrument, the
Yeah.
mouse and keyboard.
So let's talk about, because we're recording this at Chalice Studios. Shout out to Chalice Studios. Let's talk about how you got from MI over your position to your transition to Chalice Studios.
So peep this, at MI, like, I fell in love with this shit. And this is the first time like I really dove into studying, right? So I've never been a good student grade wise, but ever since, when I enrolled into MI, like I didn't have anything under an A, nothing under like a 95%.
You were serious.
Serious. I graduated top of my class, and then that's when you start applying to places like what's life outside of school gonna look like.
Yeah.
Because like I was on my high horse, like, okay, I figured it out. I
Top
found
of
my
the
thing.
class.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like what I felt like when I was playing football. Like, yo, CIF, blah blah blah.
For sure.
You got it.
Yeah.
Right. But after I graduated, it's like, okay, I couldn't find a stable job, and I was applying to like Chalice. I applied to maybe like one or two places, but Chalice was like the one I wanted to get to. Like I looked up their website, saw their clientele, and I was like, oh man, I need to be there.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, as long as I want to be there and I did good in school, I was going to get the opportunity, but that wasn't the case. Like, if they have no opportunity, if they have no openings, then they're not going to make one for you just because you graduated top of your. They don't care.
It's business.
You know what I mean?
It's business.
Yeah, it's business. And it's like at the end of the day, there's someone better than you already there,
That they know.
that they know.
Yeah.
Right. So that was another reality check where it's like, this world is not just me. It's not if you do everything you're supposed to do, everything will work out. No, you have to do that, and that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And then what are you gonna do to separate yourself, right? So I was constantly like applying and sending resumes, but that's the conventional way to get rejected, really, right? So I was like, okay, I started getting desperate because for 2 years I couldn't find a job.
After college.
Yeah,
With the
2
degree.
years.
With
It took
the-
me 2 years to
certificate.
land an internship here. But granted, I wasn't like going, I wasn't exhausting every single
Yeah.
option.
Every
I
resource and
wasn't trying to like. This was, it was probably wrong of me because I should have applied to the smaller studios. I should have applied to personal engineers. I should have tried to get my foot in however
Yeah.
I could.
Beginner.
But
type.
yeah, that's why I suffered for those 2 years. And that was one of the rock bottom moments. Like, yo, I thought I had it with football. I got hurt. found something that I'm really good at and I'm really passionate about, and then it's like, okay, this is my redemption, but then it didn't work out either to me at that point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
What am I gonna do?
What am I supposed to do? Like, oh, just keep looking for stuff that I really, really like.
Yeah.
And instead of pitying myself, I was like, okay, what else can I do to get my foot in the door? I tried the resume, I tried the emails. Let me try to find like a back door, right? So I went on Facebook and went to Chalice Recording Studios, and then got on the
friends list or something like that.
The employees list.
Okay.
And I cold messaged like three employees, and one of them happened to reply. His name's Josh Sellers. He's still here.
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to Josh, because I was like, hey, I'm trying to apply, blah blah blah, and he was like, yeah, we're hiring right now. Send the resume, and then just say you're Josh's friend, and then I got an interview, right? And then
that's crazy.
That was the start of an internship.
Let's pause right there, yo, because there's a lot to take in right there. There's so much game just in that little step, like from where you started saying this, like going to the school, being top of the class, all that was bare minimum.
Yeah.
You had to go the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, you had to do your homework, because most people, like you said, it's the conventional, like it's funny as hell the way you said it, conventional way to get rejected.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you sending resumes, you emailing, but then I like how you said you tried to go through the back door.
Yeah.
And you found some people who actually were working here and made a personal connection.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something, bro, that y'all got to pick up on. Y'all got to pick up on, one, the personal connection, and then two, just the tenacity and the drive to be able to be like, yo, 2 years, whatever, it didn't work out. I'm going to find, you know what, this is one thing I haven't done.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and try this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's respectable.
I can't lie.
Bro.
It was probably a year and like 10 months of just like applying, sitting there, hoping, because like that's what most people are going to do.
That's what they're told to do.
Right? And it's like out of 1,000 resumes, maybe one person is going to get hired, because the timing's got to be right. Someone's got to leave when your resume comes in, or why else would they even read your resume, right?
Facts.
So like all these things have to align for you to achieve your dream, but it's like nobody's over here waiting for you in life, period. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love that.
Because I see talented people all the time that aren't gonna make it because they're just gonna sit around being like, well, I'm better than this person. How come I'm not getting my shot? Well, that person probably did something you didn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a sea of 1,000 people doing the same thing, what are you gonna do to stand out?
That's different.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a statement right there. In a sea of 1,000 people, what you gonna do that's different?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts. That's
a lot of times it's the person that does something different. It's not the person that's better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the more you understand that the entertainment industry is not about skill. I mean, of course you have to have skill to stand out or to be successful, but it's who's more marketable, who's gonna put in the work that everybody else isn't. It's like at every level you have to stand out.
Facts.
And like that's also part of why it's like so hard to sustain a career in this, because let's say you make it to level 2. Now you have to do the same thing you did at level 1, but everyone's better. Okay,
it's like
now
going
you make
from high school to college to pros.
Yeah, like exactly. It's sports. Like, okay, in high school you made All-American. Okay, how you gonna make All-American in college?
Yeah.
When everyone there was all like
everybody
all
on the
league,
team,
all
damn
CIF,
near.
yeah. And then you get to like the pros where everyone there was one of a million in the
you
in
saw
the
them
level
at all the
before.
national camps and whatever the heck too. Yeah.
Right. And then now you gotta fight in that level and stand out again. So it's like it's not built for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's I feel like there's successful people, and then there's the people that like support the successful, or you know, the
Yeah.
consumers and then the people creators.
Yeah, consumer versus creator.
Yeah. And like I think a lot of consumers want to be creators,
Facts.
but without knowing like what it takes to
What
do
goes
that.
into that?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think social media played a lot into that too.
For sure.
Social media played a lot into that too, because you look at something and as soon as you see it, you just think, because obviously social media is supposed to look as easy as, you know, you think it's just that. Drop a song tomorrow and you're going to blow up, you know, but it's not that at all. It's not that at all. So let's talk about some of your first couple or most memorable sessions here at Chalice when you were first starting out.
The dates are kind of blurry, but like while I was here, I've done Ariana Grande. I've sat in Post Malone sessions, Pharrell, Jamie Foxx, John Legend, like Queen Latifah. I just remember. Yeah, I just remember that.
In the session for that joint?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Future, Khaled, Metro, like Southside, all those guys, Young Thug. Yeah, there was a lot of memorable sessions, because whether I was an engineer or assistant engineer, like being in those sessions with all these different people, like you learn so many different things. You know what I mean? And that
fly
kind
on
of
the wall, right?
Yeah, and that kind of helped me like develop like this open-mindedness too, because you see people doing it 1,000 different ways. You know what I mean? Whether it's like Christina Aguilera comes in and she writes a certain way or records a certain way, and then you see a Young Thug record a completely different way. It's like, oh, these are all ways that can work.
Yeah.
Instead of being so taught in one thing and then being like, okay, every other way is not as good.
Yeah.
Because like if I feel like I was a really stubborn kid, and if I was to have come up under one producer or one artist, then I think I might have just been boxed in, where it's like, okay, he's the best at what he does, and anything else is not right.
This is the way to do it. Yeah, this is the way to do it. I feel that. And I like that can be seen in both tables, because earlier you mentioned the same thing about engineering. Like a 14, 15-year-old kid who might have came in and just started rapping. He might say, I use these plugins, do this and that. To you, it's unconventional. It's not how you're supposed to do it or whatever it may be, but it gets you to the same place.
Facts.
You're hearing it's still the same quality, you know, so you're something you can pick up from there. I love that. So I want to ask, were there any situations where you got a name on the ticket, you know, they're coming in or whatever it is, and you were just like, yo, shaking, maybe you get to sweating a little bit, nervous, anxious? Was there anybody who did that to you when you saw their name on the ticket?
The only person like I got nervous about was Nas. And like we're in Studio G Lounge. My first session with Nas was in Studio G.
So right next door.
Right next door, right? And he was recording a verse for this Rick Ross song. I think it was on, I might be mistaken, but I think it was on Black Market. There was a song that he was doing a feature on, and then I was in there recording, and then Sandra, the studio manager here, she was like, "You like Nas, right? I got you on a session for him." And I was like, "No way."
What?
Bro. And that's before like all the King's Disease and everything. That's when I was like first starting to engineer here.
Dang.
And I got that session, and I
Shout
was
out to
like,
Sandra.
I was shaking. That's the first time I felt nerves in a session, because like for some reason when I get into a session with these artists, like they just become human.
Yeah,
to me.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You're like,
once you see them, once you're in the room with them,
after the first couple interactions, you're like, oh, they're just people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't, like, they're talented, but they don't breathe different air. They don't drink different water. No, they're the same people as us. And like in a lot of ways, that made everything they do obtainable for me. Okay, this person, if I work as hard as them, if I practice as hard as them, if I, do the same things that they do, then I can become them.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're realizing they're just like you, just people.
Yeah, they're just people.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with athletes and shit. Like, of course, there's size and
Yeah,
physical attributes, but to a certain extent, it's like, okay, when you see an athlete practice, you're like, oh, that's why I'm not that good
Yeah.
because I don't practice like that. And
Your
then
buddy
maybe
going
if I
crazy
did,
hard.
you know, I can get, you know, close to what
where
they
they're
are,
at.
but. And then the rest of it is like God-given ability and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Nas, like I was in here like, I don't know, because my first album I ever purchased was Nas. Like every bad day I would come home and listen to one mic and like it will calm me down. Like
That's a full circle moment for you.
facts. So that's where the nerves came from. I was in there like literally shaking and I told him, yo, this is crazy. My first ever album was Illmatic and it was written. He's like, wow, that's full circle.
Yeah.
Right? Fast forward, like, what was it? Probably 5 years, 6 years from there. And I walk into Hit Boy's room and Nas is there. And then he's like, oh yeah, we're cooking up and he's gonna come back tomorrow. And then that turned into, oh, we're gonna do an album together. You're gonna mix it, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I told him the story again.
Yeah.
Like, yo, my first ever album where it was written in Illmatic, and then he was like, man, that's crazy. And then I told him about the session in there.
So, hold on. So you hadn't seen him again since that?
Dang. Probably like a 5-year gap.
Okay. Okay.
And then he said the same thing, like, damn, that's full circle, bro. And I was like, wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Fast forward 3 years from there, and I got my name on the
credits.
song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With his vocals.
Yeah.
Like, yo, him actually saying, yo, shout out to David Kim. Like, it's insane.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
that's
mean?
wild.
Yeah.
That's wild to picture like you with a kid going in the store, copping the album. Like you
Mhm.
said, it would calm you down every day.
Yeah.
And now he's saying shout out to you.
That's crazy. And I also, you know, I grew up listening to Jay too, and he would always be shouting out Guru, like, young Guru.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's
yeah.
like, damn, I wonder what that would feel like, you know?
And now you
yeah,
got it.
now we
So
got it.
so what does that feel like, bro?
Validation. Every step of the way, you're like, you know, every step of the way, there's like triumph followed by doubt. You know, like every other person, I wake up in the morning with doubt, and then I have to like summon enough courage to face the day, and then hopefully get a, you know, small win, and I can go to sleep like, okay, I did something today. But then when I wake up again, it's like, fuck.
Same thing.
Damn, like you look at the mountain and you climb it, the view's good, and then you go back
Go
to
down.
sleep, and then every day is the same thing, right? But there's key moments in my life where, like, okay, I have to look at this, and I can't just be like, okay, I'm not good enough every single day, because there are certain things that I have accomplished in my life, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I got the first Grammy with To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick, I felt like, okay, maybe what my contributions to this album weren't significant enough for me to warrant feeling like I won a Grammy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second one, Nipsey Hussle,
Racks in the
Racks
middle.
in the
joint,
Middle,
right?
that won Best Rap Performance. So it's like, damn, it wasn't my mixing that helped this man win this Grammy. So like, of course, I'm part of it still.
Yeah.
Right. But to myself,
But how you looked at it.
I'm very tough on myself. Right. And that's what motivates me to keep
pushing.
doing.
Keep doing more.
Keep doing. And when I get complacent and when I get like full of myself, I'm the worst version of myself.
I feel that.
Because that's my activation.
Yeah.
Right. So you know, when the third one happened, no, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. It's
David
gotta
Kim, Nas, King's Disease, best rap album.
be. Yeah.
Mixed the whole shit, recorded most of it. It's like, oh, okay, this is undoubted. You know, this is one of those moments. And then same thing when he's saying shout out to the engineer and David Kim, like,
You can't deny it at that
You can't
point.
deny it.
Yeah.
So whenever like I'm feeling down or like feeling hard on myself, like I think about those key moments sometimes, and I'm like I reflect on it. It's like, okay, you thought you weren't good enough, but look, you are good enough.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like everybody gotta have something where they can count. Like, and I feel like that's why accepting compliments and you know, giving yourself a pat on the back once in a while is a good thing.
For sure.
Because like
Sure.
growing up in an Asian household, like they were very critical on everything, right?
Hard
And
on
then-
you, basically. That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
very very hard on us, and like you know Asians culturally, it's like, hey, blend in, don't stand out too much, like you know,
Okay.
play your place. Play your role. So I never learned to like celebrate and be braggadocious and be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's new for me. I didn't know that the Asian culture was like that.
It's and a Christian household. It's like be humble.
That makes sense.
Yeah, be humble, be humble, be humble. So it's like when I did achieve something, it was like, okay, I can accept it, but I can't brag too much.
Yeah.
I can't even tell people. Like, and then that became like
And
a
act
habit
like
of
it
mine.
don't happen, like it did.
Yeah. But what happened, eventually was like there'll be times I couldn't even summon my achievements, and I'll be like, damn, when I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, there was not enough substance or not enough celebration
to fight against that.
And then it just be like, fuck, I'm a piece of shit until my next
Until the
achievement.
next thing.
Yeah, and like,
And that can be seen kind of like a drug too. Kind of like a drug too.
Yeah, and like, lucky enough, like my willpower was strong enough to counter that every single time. But like, I look at some of my friends and shit, and then it's not. Like,
Yeah.
If you go through that and you don't have the willpower to get out of it, then you just dig yourself in a hole, and then
It just gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah, you never come out.
Yeah. I can say I've seen that too. Homies go down the wrong road, and it's hard to come back.
Yep.
Sometimes you went too far. Sometimes, I mean, it's never too far, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little far. It's just a long ways back.
Too far is, you know, subjective too.
Yeah.
'Cause to me, to you, it might not. Oh, you can get out of that, but then to that person, that might be
Yeah,
the
ain't
end.
no way.
Yeah.
They might see it as ain't no way. I feel that. So let's talk about when, like you mentioned 3 Grammys. Like there's people, obviously you as well, when you started to do music, probably dreamt of like, yo, because Grammys is one of the biggest awards you can get in this industry.
Yeah.
So to a young kid that's like watching this interview, maybe has the same aspirations, whether it's artist, engineer, producer, whatever it may be, what can you give to him when it comes to just like staying focused on the craft, or maybe it might be where you're going, who, like in the moment, what was like the biggest focus for you to get you to these moments of achievement, moments of triumph, moments of celebration?
I think my greatest attribute was like I just found things to motivate me that wasn't like the main goal. So I never like I might have said it once or twice, oh, it'd be cool to have a Grammy, but it wasn't my goal to win a Grammy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like you set your aspirations, you manifest, and you work your ass off. You know, you go as fast as you can towards that goal.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it is also like who you meet along the way, because if you have one path to this goal and that goal doesn't work out, or that path doesn't work out, then you got to go all the way back, figure something out.
Yeah.
But like the more people you meet, the more doors open up, right? And I never understood this, because like, you know, when we're young, like that's the thing about networking. Okay, networking opens up doors. You don't quite get
You don't know
what
that
it means.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yo, my network, if I didn't have my network, a lot of this shit wouldn't have been possible, because your network might be even how good you are with your boss at work.
Yeah.
Like how much they're likely to go out of their way to put you on a session, or put you in a situation for you to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's your network too. You know,
Facts.
or like how good you are to every single person you meet, where if they see a possibility or if they see an opportunity for you, they'll be like, oh yeah, he was a
They'll
good
think
person.
of
I
you.
want him to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
succeed, you know? So like networking isn't just going to parties and, hey, I do this, what do you do? And exchanging
Swapping cards
numbers.
and-
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's about like, you know, keeping good people around you, being a good person where when the opportunity does arise, like they'll think about you.
Yeah. What's a situation where that's happened for you?
Uh,
Where out of the blue, someone might have hit you and been like, yo, David, I need somebody to do this.
well, I mean, I think it's happened a lot at Chalice just because like I was always proactive here. Like I would not be ever stationary. Like I'm always cleaning something
Okay.
or doing something, especially if like the managers are around, like I'm going to act like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
doing
on
the
top
most,
of it. Yeah.
right? So that, okay, this person is this detailed with cleaning the floors. I can trust them to be in the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy to look at it
Because
like that.
how you do anything is how you do everything.
That's game. Y'all got to pick up on that.
So you show a person that you can take out the trash on time every single day, have the parking lot spotless. Like that means like, okay, if they're in the studio, I can trust them that they're gonna keep it clean, that they're gonna, you know, make sure everything's
Yeah.
okay. If they see you respecting, you know, other people's property, same. Like, okay, if they're in the studio, they're gonna make sure our gear is,
It's good.
you know, it's good.
Yeah.
You know, and the way you talk to people, the way you treat people, same thing. Oh, this person's gonna be able to handle client
For sure.
client relations, you know.
Yeah.
So you know that's happened, but my big break with Hit Boy was the Chick-fil-A run, and I'm sure you heard about this. But that Chick-fil-A run, it's like I took it upon myself to make this the fastest Chick-fil-A run possible.
Yeah.
Because right now I can't show Hit Boy I'm a good engineer. It's not possible.
How you going to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go in there and be like, "Yo, let me try engineering." Nah, then you're out forever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the only thing I can do right now is, oh, he needs a Chick-fil-A run. Boom, I'm in there. And you know, by the grace of God, that you know they noticed that and they hit me back. And it wasn't until a couple years later, after they got my number that day.
And just so the audience can hear, they asked you for your number because you brought Chick-fil-A back.
Yeah, fast as hell.
And that's what made you stand out. Like how you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
You got to do whatever it is. You got to do something to make you stand out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy, bro. Because most people think it is maybe I do got to mention that I do this. I do. Nah, bro. Play your position and play it as best as you can.
A lot of people in the studio too, like these big artists or producers or whatever, when they come in the studio, they don't want that solicitation. This is their safe place, right? If they get approached with demos on Hollywood Boulevard or on the Strip, whatever, like, okay, they can manage that because they're expecting that there.
I'm in public.
But when they come to their sacred place, like, they don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're paying big money to be here for their privacy, to be respected. They don't want, hey, I make beats, yo, check me out.
Yeah, they're not here to deal with that.
That's probably, you know, gonna get you further away from your goal than if you pulled up to them at Bossa Nova or something.
Yeah.
Like then they might solicit, but not in here. So like, how else can you formulate being noticed, right? And right now, like, there's this kid named Audi. He's a engineer, and now he's a video guy too. But we used to have like conversations in my room like 2-3 years ago about like direction and all that shit, right? He just hit me up on IG. He's a Korean dude, but now he's helping with videography for Hit Boy, and that's like a crazy full circle moment for him because it's like he would be in my room, we're talking, and he's like he produces, he engineers, he just learned how to how to
Do the video.
do camera work, right? And then he was working. He was shooting at like my homie's studio, but then somehow he met Hit Boy's videographer and recognized him, and was like, "Yo, I know you."
Yeah.
And Raz was like, "Yo, you should come by the studio." And then now they're working on shit together.
That's
So
crazy.
when I saw him doing that, I was like, "That's exactly what I was talking about." Like,
Yeah.
you found your position. You found your place that you can be valuable.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to force your value upon somebody. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that. You found where you're valuable instead of trying to force what your value, because you're gonna perceive what your value to them is a whole different way than what they're gonna perceive.
Exactly.
That's
they
crazy.
don't need another beat maker.
Yeah, we
They
got.
don't
beats.
need another engineer. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what can you do to bring value to my life? And then eventually I'll return that value to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love that.
Man, with personal relationships, same thing. Everybody just wants to take and take and take and take. But it's like, but occasionally you'll see, like, you'll meet that one person where you're like, oh, this person's a star, or this person needs to be in my life, because it's like, this person's making my life easier instead of taking.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. But anyways, you mentioned Queen Latifah, yo. What was that like? Because that's something that I haven't heard you mention at all.
Well, I was just in a session as an engineer, but she was cutting vocals for something. She didn't end up doing too much that session, but like, you have to understand that if there's 100 sessions booked under one artist, like one of those songs, two of the songs might make it to the album, like might make it to somewhere, people see.
Yeah.
So like, I've been in sessions with all these people, and sometimes it doesn't always equate to
See the
credit.
light. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I've been in so many like Travis Scott sessions, but like I have like 2 maybe Travis Scott credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like working with him, bro? You were recording him, or?
Yeah, I've recorded him a bunch of times, but Travis is, I don't know, he's
got different sounds coming.
Yeah.
He's not like your conventional rapper.
He's a genius in there, but sometimes like the genius comes out in different ways.
Okay.
It's not always the most friendly to the engineer.
Okay, I feel what you're saying. And does that happen a lot sometimes with the artists?
Yeah, I wouldn't say a lot, but a lot of creatives, they want to get their ideas out as fast as they can.
Yeah.
And if you're doing anything that impedes that,
then it's a problem.
It could be a problem. They might say some choice words, and,
That's good to know, bro.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So for engineers out there, how do you handle those situations?
You got to know why you're there. You're there for the service. You're there to record. You're not there to cause trouble. You're not there to, engineer. Another great trait for an engineer to have is like the patience. Like, even if you want to go punch the artist, you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might be doing something wrong, or they might be saying something that's like, out of pocket. But you got to know why you're there. You got to get the mission complete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in sessions where I was unhappy, or like I wanted to leave, or but you got to stick it through.
Play your position.
You got to play your position, because everybody in there, whether you like your team or not, you're part of a team. You know what I mean? And you still got to finish the game at minimum.
See, you a sports guy for real.
Yeah, you got to finish the game at minimum. If you can win with people you don't like, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that win translates to your record. Like, okay, you have a win on your record, whether it was you liked it or not.
Might not have been pretty, but you won.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that. So recently, you've been taking some trips out to Korea. What have you been doing out there? Because I mean, I'll go into a little bit. I know you've been working on an album, doing things like that. What's going on out there?
So I'm on I'm on my Hit Boy Metro Boomin. I'm doing a compilation album in Korea
Okay.
with all the people that like I've worked with in the past or that I've wanted to work with. And the process has been kind of crazy because like I was thinking 4 or 5 songs just to put my name on the map as a producer, and it quickly turned into like 15 because I was hitting up these artists directly, right?
Oh, you were reaching out.
Yeah, I was reaching out just all DM.
Did they know you made beats?
Well, I think some of them, but a lot of them just known me for what I did as a mixer.
The engineer.
Yeah. So like I was reaching out and hey, I'm making a producer album. Would you like to be a part of it? And a lot. I mean, all of them said yeah. Minus like 1 or 2 of them. They might have just not seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you have 3 million, 4 million followers. Sometimes you don't check your DMs.
Get buried. Yeah.
Some people don't even manage their own.
It's
accounts.
other people looking at them.
So yeah. I compiled a list. I created all these beats for them with the help of like the homie Cha Cha Malone. Francis got Heat from Toronto. I got Hit Boy on 2 songs.
What?
So I made these songs custom for these artists after I got the okay from them, and then I flew out to Korea. And in 10 days, we recorded 12 songs with like 16 different artists. Had them all pull up.
Oh, in person?
In person.
You're not sending stuff. That's hard.
And I needed that because like I wanted them to feel my mission. I wanted them to feel my purpose. And the purpose of the album, it started off very like innocent, just like, oh, let's just make some songs, but right now, like we're getting almost to the end of it. Like almost everything's recorded. I'm mixing and we're working on concept and rollout and marketing. We shot 1 video to it already.
So you're moving.
But the shit is like, this is like my homecoming, right? And then, I think we all have this thing. Unless you're white in America, we're growing up with like a void in our heart where it's like this isn't truly home for us, right?
Facts.
So like we don't know exactly what it is, but when I went back to Korea, I was like, oh shit.
It's a whole different feeling.
I'm Korean. Like these are my people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and like my purpose is becoming clearer where it's like, okay, I've achieved in the States. I've done what no other Korean has. And it's like, what am I going to do with that? I can take that back to where I was born, to my motherland, and basically cultivate the culture, or like be the bridge for the culture to be more authentic.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, this is my purpose for the time being. And it's like, it's super, super fulfilling.
Yeah, it's like you've learned and you've gained all this knowledge from these years of working with all these different people working in these studios. Now you're bringing it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's hard, bro. That's hard. So we can
homage, man.
When can we expect it?
It's coming next year.
Next year.
Singles might start dropping like end of Q1.
Okay.
And then by summer we'll have the whole.
We should have a joint out.
Yeah, I'm not being super meticulous with it, but it's more like the business part. I'm a new producer. I'm not just trying to drop it on iTunes and be like, oh, here it is, because there's so many good projects that come out, and it's like, if you don't have the right marketing, that thing's here today, gone tomorrow.
In a sea of 1,000, what you gonna do to make yourself stand out?
Exactly.
It's the same
what
thing.
am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So right now we're shopping and putting together partnerships and things like that, so that this good body of work can like get its shine.
Yeah. The people can actually see it and it can stand out in front. I love that, bro. I love that. So will all of this be mostly in Korean?
I'd say about half.
Okay.
There's songs that are like fully in English. Because a lot of the artists that I've like that I communicate with out there are Korean Americans. So like,
so a lot of them have went back.
Yeah. So a lot of them are actually from the States, but they'll go to Korea to have the platform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, to be an Asian artist in the States is really, really tough. Because it's like, if you're a rapper, then it's like cultural appropriation or you know, like, what are you doing? Go do K-pop, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And if you're a K-pop star, then you would have to originate it in Korea to be legit K-pop.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of tough.
Got this weird gray area.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
when you mention that, I really can't name too many.
Right? I mean, you got like Pilo, but he's Filipino. Yeah, Pilo's kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
But he's like the only relevant like a rapper that's Asian. You know, you had like Far East Movement. They had a couple Billboard chop poppers. You know, but no, none really.
That's wild.
Yeah, but I think, you know, the last 5 years has showed us like, okay, you can be BTS, you can be Blackpink, Bad Bunny, like the internet has opened the floodgates, right? And now it's not, you have to be like a successful American artist to be a chart topper or like international icon.
You even got the African joints coming out,
bro. Like Wizkid and all, and Burna Boy,
yeah.
Even the UK drill guys, you know, Dave, Central Ski. Before them was Skepta and
who's this boy that was on LA Leaguers? One of the UK
Central
drill.
C.
Central C. That was
So now it's like, now it's not the American stage; it's the world stage.
Facts.
And I think it's just a matter of time. There's so much fucking talent out there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so much talent.
And you gonna bring light to it, bro. I'm definitely gonna be checking out the album.
Bro, you got to.
I'm definitely checking out
this
the album.
It's like even the people spitting in Korean or singing in Korean, like there's an American bounce to everything, you know.
You feel it. The emotion there.
Yeah. And I haven't been producing like a lot, but you know, I've been around the best producers.
Yeah.
I'm around the best producer every single day.
I'm about to say, bro, you
know
hit boy engineer. What you talking about?
Yeah, so I've learned some things, and like, I think it's all coming to fruition.
Yeah. Before we wrap it up, I do want to ask, since he came up again, what is that relationship like between you and Hit Boy?
Me and Hit are like, we like bros. Like, that's the homie, you know? Like, while I was at Chalice, when I was peaking at Chalice, bro, and doing sessions with all these big artists every single day, I was also getting called on by Hit Boy and then DJ Khaled. So I was doing like, anytime I'm not at Chalice, I'll be like doing sessions with Hit Boy or Khaled and like trying to see what the next move was.
Yeah.
At the same time, like scared, reluctant to leave Chalice because I worked so hard in the stable, right?
Yeah.
But there was a point where I had to choose Hit Boy, Chalice, or Khaled, and then I went with Hit.
Those are like, crazy options, though.
Yeah. But Hit is like, me and him are the same age. Like, he shows me the respect I felt like I deserved. And not saying like Khaled disrespected me, but with him, it was like a boss employee.
Yeah, okay. It was more that type of vibe.
Mm-hmm. And Chalice too, it's like, okay, there's not crazy room to grow. I've like, engineer is kind of like the most you can go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can you do? They're not going to give you equity. They're not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I knew with Hit, if I go with Hit, it's like, you know, I can learn producing. I can, I was just a recording engineer, but eventually I can become a mix engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, who knows, you know? And me and him, like, we grew so close to each other. Like, we can do business deals together. Like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So now we're at a place where, you know, I'm obviously mixing all the stuff that he does, and he's letting me like give creative input on stuff.
Okay,
Um,
that's hard. That's
yeah,
hard.
yeah. I got my first like producer cred on the last Nas album.
Oh, you had a
on Tisk.
producer credit on that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Additional production on Tisk.
What?
Mhm.
What'd you do on there?
So
If you don't mind saying.
I did like there's like this transition that goes from beat A to beat B, and he wanted it to be like this grand, like boom, 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 and then he had the idea down, but I had some ideas to kind of amplify it and take it to the next level. And then I was like, hey, can I try it? And then it was like, of course.
And that's what we're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. That's hard. Got to check that joint out on the way home.
Yeah.
Tisk. Okay. But I always ask 3 questions before we get out of here. And so the first one I want to ask you, bro, and we kind of touched on it a little bit, but for a young kid, say 12, you know what I'm saying? Right now, he might just be rap is popping, whatever he thinks is cool. His homies are freestyling, whatever it may be. He knows, inspired by Nipsey, whatever, whatever it may be, LA guy. What is some advice for him? Because you've been in the room with a bunch of different types of artists. Like when it comes to just one attribute that you can say you've seen in multiple of these successful artists that you've been around, like one attribute that maybe it might not even have anything to do with music, might just be a personality thing or whatever. What's one attribute that you think like the successful artist like has to have down?
I say, aside from talent and all that, I think just drive, hunger, and humility is very, very important. And that's one thing I learned from Nip and Nas. Like they come in there and they treat every single person with respect. You know, they remember names. They care about people, and that like really shows, and that is returned like tenfold. And I think that really separates people that are really successful for a long time.
Yeah.
From like the one hit wonders and like the get rich quick guys.
Because you have relationships.
Right. And like having passion for the sport, the game.
Yeah.
You know, like if Nas is 50, he rapping his ass off still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Grammys.
saying? Like 6 albums in 3 years, you know. There's people that just want to be famous. If you want to be famous, go do something else.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what's like killing the game right now. But yeah, I think humility and like focus and drive and like really the passion for whatever it is. Because this is not just pertaining to music, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever you're doing, make sure you love it. And if you love it, then don't leave an ounce of doubt.
Facts. That's something I can pick up from. For sure. So you mentioned Nip. I'm going to tie this. This is kind of like a 2-in-1 question. I know that when you recorded Racks in the Middle or the piece that you had recorded on there, after you told yourself like, yo, I got to reach out and make sure I at least got a chance to mix this joint.
Yeah.
For an engineer or for anybody out there, maybe any whatever passion they're trying to pursue, what is the mindset when it comes to that? Because most people would have been like, yo, I just recorded Nip and would have left it there. Almost like what you said earlier, the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So what was that mindset where it was like, yo, I gotta reach out and do this? They're like, whether it was like you're nervous, most people might even been like, that's Nip, I'm not about to message him.
Yeah.
What was your mindset with that, yo?
Man, I don't know. My instincts kind of took over, and I felt like I missed out on so many opportunities just because I didn't speak up on it in my past. That it's like, yo, this one I'm not gonna leave to chance, you know. And and no matter how much you think someone cares about you or wishes the best for you, if you don't ask them, you will never receive nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Exactly. Like even you know our parents growing up, our mom growing up. If you don't ask for the ice cream, she's not just gonna take you to go get the ice cream.
Yeah.
And if you don't tell them something's wrong, you know, they're not gonna be like, oh, like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
those mouths don't get fed. So
Yeah.
I would say
Speak up for yourself.
you gotta, even though you're scared, even though you're uncomfortable with it, you have to take your chances, because by playing the bare minimum, you're just gonna be where everybody else is at.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Okay, one last question. One last question before we wrap this up. So, you went from you came over here from Korea.
Mm-hmm.
You had to do a complete pivot probably around like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Figure out what you want to do. Went to school, struggled for a couple years to get a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get here, things start to change, start meeting some dope people, put you in some dope positions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where you're at now, you're creating your own album
Mm-hmm.
with top artists from Korea, your home country. So in this whole journey that you've had, and obviously there's going to be a lot more that comes, but in this journey that you have, what do you think is like the one thing that has been able to stick with you? Whether if it's like some advice somebody said, whether it's something like you may have looked yourself in the mirror one day and been like, yo, after today, this is what I'm doing, or whatever it may be. What's like one thing that's always stuck with you? Like kind of in the same way where you say, when I get down, I think of all my wins. I count my wins.
Yeah.
But what's one thing that's kind of stuck with you throughout this whole journey?
Damn. The first thing that comes to mind is like my chip on my shoulder. Like a lot of people didn't. I wasn't supposed to make it. I wasn't supposed to be successful in music. I wasn't supposed to like have overcome any of the things that I've overcome. Like, and when I see the position I'm in right now versus where I was, like that kind of helps me keep going. Where it's like, okay, sometimes like you know the Michael Jordan documentary, where he's looking for shit to fuel him. Sometimes I'm doing that, where it's like, okay, this person. I look at like LeBron. He's not supposed to be where he is.
Facts.
No father, jumping from home to home.
Yep.
He's not supposed to be a good father. He's not supposed to be a good businessman. He's not supposed to have overcome all this hype to become the number one greatest scorer of all time.
Yeah.
They didn't even say he's a good scorer. They said he wasn't a good scorer and he broke the record. Like, like when I look at people like that, like people without legs running in the Olympics, like people that overcame everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what inspires me. Like, why can't I do this? Like, why not me? Instead of like pity me or why me, it's like, why not me?
Why not me?
Yeah. And it's like, yo, if whatever you want to do, like find a way to do it.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You just need to understand what amount of work it's gonna take for you to achieve that. And then you can make a decision. Like, okay, I want to put in that work or I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a lot of people dream past, they dream by skipping steps. They go, I want to be this, but they don't think about step A, step B, step C to get to this. It's like, no, I want to get to level 10, but I don't really want to think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then before you know it, you don't even try because it's like there's no way to get here without all this.
Taking all those steps.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to climb the ladder.
And then by the time you realize what work it's going to take, it's like, oh, shit, never mind. I don't really want it that bad. Or you make an excuse to why you can't do it.
Yeah.
But I think I've always found a reason to do it instead of a reason not to do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
for sure.
That's kind of propelled me.
A reason to do it, not a reason not to do it. Not, what'd you say, man? Why not?
Yeah, why not me?
Why not me?
Yeah.
But in a more positive way.
Right.
Why not me?
Yeah.
Why not me, bro?
Why can't that be me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like how you said you was going in the studio, everybody, you realize after the first couple interactions, yo, these are all just people. I can do this too, bro. This is possible.
Yeah.
This is possible.
The question I get the most, like sometimes I get DM'd and it's like, a young Korean kid, right? And he's like, how did you overcome the struggles of being Asian in the music industry?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that even? What is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What struggle? What struggle, bro?
Yeah.
The struggle is imminent. The struggle is absolute. It's gonna happen, but it's not because you're Asian, not because you're black, not because you're short, not because you're fat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
the struggle is there. Like you gotta come up with a reason to
do it.
To do it.
Yeah, that's what it
You know
takes
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
successful.
Yeah,
You gotta
everyone
struggle.
is gonna be the first person to do something, or not. Not let me rephrase that. Not everyone's gonna be the first person to do something, but eventually someone's gonna be the first person to do something.
Exactly.
But you can be that somebody. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think we should end it with that one, bro.
Yeah.
Why not me?
Why not me?
Why not me, yo?
Facts.
But anyways, bro, I appreciate. Actually, wait, one more time. One more time. Get the dap up though. We ain't gonna leave him hanging. One more time. Can you give them where they can find you if you don't already know? And then, if you got a name, if not, give them. You know when we might see some of this album, when we might see some of this producer album.
Well, you can find me on Instagram, David Yungin Kim, and then on YouTube, All Up in the Mix. I haven't posted in a while, but
Check out his podcast, yo. Bro got a podcast.
Yeah.
He's gonna post again.
And tutorials, mixed
Oh,
tutorials.
mixed tutorials. I seen one of them you did with Abbott, but you got them on your own YouTube too.
Yeah. I haven't posted in a while, but I'll be on there soon.
Okay, bet. He said he going to Japan. We gonna make sure he posts something from over there. We gonna post a little podcast or something from over there.
Yeah.
But anyways, bro, I appreciate you. Make sure you guys check him out. Huge thank you, first and foremost, to Chalice for allowing us to do this. And then also a huge thank. I should have got it.
That was supposed to be right here.
Yeah, I know. I'm tripping. Got to shout out to sponsor, yo. Shout out to Heavy Hitters for sponsoring YOTTATALK. Thank you guys. If you guys need something to, elevate your life a little bit, go to your nearest dispensary. These are the most potent joints that you will find in California or New York. So make sure you go get them. Make sure you go check them out. Heavy Hitters. Appreciate you guys. And that is it, yo. If you guys want to see another episode, make sure you tune in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks and first quarter of 2024, check out bro new single. He gonna drop it. He gonna drop it.
Yes, sir.
He gonna drop it. But YOTTATALK. Until next time, appreciate you.
Peace, y'all.
Shout the engineer, David Kim. I know we've been driving you crazy. You like, what, again? Another one? You just